Well, the Tampa Bay Rays cannot complete the sweep against the New York Yankees, and a crummy outing from Shane McClanahan.
I'll take a 2 out of 3 series win after that horrible July, but there are concerns, so let's talk about it right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also follow us on the social medias at Locked On Rays and email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Well, the Tampa Bay Rays fall to the New York Yankees by a score of 7-2. The Yanks improve to 4 games above 500, 56 and 52. The Rays fall to 66 and 45. And one of the big storylines from this game, maybe the biggest storyline from this game, was Shane McClanahan only going 4 innings and getting punched around for 5 earned runs, including 2 bombs. Something is not going too well for him, as his last 6 starts have been very uncharacteristic for him as well, to boot.
I'm glad you bring that up, man, because when you look at those 6 outings, it started with that Kansas City one where he went 3 2/3, allowing 2 runs. Then 3 innings, again, going out for injury, allowing 4 runs. Then you have like a half a month where he didn't pitch, and then he comes back real good with the Rangers. 6 innings, 2 earned runs. There you go. You feel good about your ace. That's it. And then 4 innings, 5 runs against Baltimore. 5 innings, 3 runs. 4 innings, 5 runs. So it definitely has not been Shane McClanahan on the mound to that you expect for the last 6 outings. Is there concern? Apparently, there's a forearm tightness on the exterior side. He was pretty adamant that he was not going to speculate on what it was or what pitch he threw that made that kind of flare up during the warmups in the 4th inning, or if it was something else. He was just very tight-lipped about it. But those, he gives me those David Price vibes. Not only I've made the reference that he is going to do the whole David Price thing about like, I'm not taking any team friendly deal. I'm going to get my money, which good for you. But also his post-game interviews, he also has the David Price vibes of like, I'm upset right now. I don't want to do this, and I'm going to kind of be rude to you, and I don't care about it. He kind of got lippy with Mark Topkin, and Mark was just asking a normal question like, "Hey, was it a pitch?" No, I don't know. And then he's just kind of, he was very brief and to the point. But he's a competitor. He doesn't want to do those things when he's failing.
What's your level of concern, scale of 1 to 10, based on his recent struggles and the forearm tightness? Although we are seeing, for whatever reason, an uptick in velocity. And I should also note this, I don't know how much of this was a factor or not, but it's not like he has a very close rapport with Rene Pinto. He's used to working with other more established guys that, quite frankly, know what they're doing more or less. So that having the not having that connection with your battery mate, with your catcher, can also throw things off kilter at times as well.
Yeah, no, that's that. You have that communication. You have that rapport with your battery mate. Obviously, he doesn't have that with Pinto. Although apparently that's Pinto's calling card, that he is a really good defensive catcher.
Although we didn't see it at times last night, where he had a ball that went right through the wickets, and then a throw to Wander Franco that doesn't even get past the infield grass, that basically, in effect, allows the Yankees to double steal second and home. And then offensively speaking, he had no business trying to stretch a single into a double. That was a disaster. So wasn't the shining moment for Rene Pinto. So
No, not at all. So yeah, and you can have those games, but when you have those games put back to back together, like on the offensive side and on the defensive side, making those mistakes, it's rough. He got the knocks, but yeah, it's obviously you're there for your defense. You're there to do that, and if you're not doing that, that kind of makes the point moot. But I think that's why when we talked about yesterday, I think it was on yesterday's episode about this kid, Alex Jackson. I'm getting his name correct, right? Alex Jackson, the catcher.
I believe that's what it is. Yes, a very basic, simplistic name, Alex Jackson. I think there was a former major leaguer by the name of Alex Jackson who played for the Tigers and Yankees, an outfielder.
Yeah, I think maybe you if you put that on Baseball Ref, there are going to be like quite a few Alex Jacksons.
Yeah, maybe, but Alex Jackson, who does have some major league experience, limited experience,
depth.
But
you understand that move because there are games like yesterday, and there are going to be these games are going to happen when you don't have Mejia and Bethancourt might be struggling, or Bethancourt gets hurt. Like, what is your depth? That is kind of a struggle, I think, for the Rays right now in the catching position. Because you have Blake Hunt in the minors, but in AAA. But are you ready to give him the call up if something happens to Christian? I don't know, man.
I think that the Rays going out and getting Alex Jackson answered that pretty quickly and swiftly. That no, they're not prepared as of yet. They want to see what he can do over the next couple months in AAA and go through another spring training, and then maybe the time is right then.
How worried are you? Because about Shane. I'm 5.5 worried.
Yeah. I would say, I might bump it up to a 6. We have seen a somewhat of a theme where as you get deeper later onto the season, things start to tweak and peak up in a negative way. So maybe it's just a case of him starting to run out of steam and him not being himself. So I'll be really curious to see if he makes another injured list stint. And I think this was also part of the rationale for the Aaron Civale move of we can't just go into the playoffs or go in these last couple months of the season with blinders on and expect, hey, Eflin's going to give us 6 2/3 every time out. Glasnow is going to give us 7 strong every time out. Nothing's going to be at odds or issue with Shane McClanahan. He's going to be his, Cy Young competitive self. Like, no, you have to be realistic and kind of think the worst. Have your contingencies in place.
That's why, Rays fans that just can't help themselves to spread positivity by toxicity. It's live in the real world. It's not all rainbows and sunshine. Things can happen, and you could lose to Shane McClanahan. So you do need you only need 3 pitchers. Well, you got to get to October 1st. And you're not in first place. You got to get to October 1st. And then you can do your whole, we only need 3 pitchers, which, by the way, you can also you could lose one of those pitchers in the playoffs. Ask the Braves when they lost Charlie Morton to a fractured leg, by the way. And what a man to just finish that inning, Charlie Morton. Man, $15 million. Nope, we're not going to pick that up. 2021. Anyway, I'm still not hurt about that. No, I'm concerned about Shane. Hopefully, it's nothing major. If it's a brief IL stint, fine. I think the Rays will be fine with it. But it's not ideal. It's not ideal to lose your opening day starter for any length of time.
Yeah, if you read the Topkin article, you're probably going from a 5.5 to a 9 because Topkin brings up the Tommy John injury history with Shane McClanahan and also adds in the zinger of, oh, yeah, by the way, Luke Raley also got dinged up by fouling a ball off his inside knee. So that's not good. Yeah, it's unfortunate. So it's kind of waiting with bated breath to see what the results of the test and what the doctors will say. But anytime a pitcher of his caliber has to exit early and says, yeah, my arm or shoulder or forearm or whatever, something with my throwing motion isn't correct and kosher, that's an issue. So we will see the results on that, I'm sure, sooner rather than later. In the meantime, we have to tell you about Sleeper. Do you want the chance to win more money with less picks? Of course you do. So head over to Sleeper, where you can win up to 100 times your money on just 2 or more fantasy baseball picks. If you think a player like Wander Franco can hit a home run in the next game against a Tigers pitcher, well, we hope you do, and we think he will as well, I think. So what you can do is you can go to Sleeper and you can swing for the fences and win up to 100 times payouts. All you have to do is choose 2 or more players that you like, and then from there select more or less based on their stat categories like home runs, strikeouts, hits, and more. So get your picks right, and you could win big. So use promo code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. Be sure to see Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 30 states. Check out Sleeper today. Well, speaking of Wander Franco, as I gave him a little love in the Sleeper live read there, he went long. Again, he's starting to show the power stroke a little bit, and it made that game look good in the onset of it, where it's like, okay, you have Yandy Diaz setting the table with a leadoff walk, very prototypical, and then Wander Franco coming in and hitting a bomb from the left side, taking advantage of the Yankees' short porch at that power uppercut swing, one-handed follow through. And it was like, okay, maybe we'll do something and get going against Garrett Cole. And that was really the last of the scoring for the Rays. But it's nice to see Wander starting to find his groove a little bit there, whether it's power or base hit variety. And then we see some of the defensive heroics as well, as he, theoretically saved a run, or could have saved a run on a ball hit up the middle by Gleyber Torres, and then the Rays gave it up later on. But we're starting to maybe see some more normalcy from Wander Franco over the last several games anyway.
Yeah, this road trip has really done him well. He goes deep in Houston. Like you said, the defense has not taken a step back at all. And then now 2 home runs in this Yankee series. Yeah. That's awesome to see.
And he almost had an extra base hit. I mean, if not a play from, I guess, the center fielder, I can't remember.
Harrison Bader.
Yeah, Harrison Bader. I mean, he hit his, the classic inside-out swing, gapper to the warning track that, could have been a double triple, if not a, credit on a really good play by Bader. But it's like you're hitting the ball hard, you're driving the ball. That's something to build off, whether it's an out or a home run or an extra base hit.
Yeah, when you're commanding that ball to the opposite field with intent, that's when you see, and spraying the ball all over the field, that's when you see the best of any player. And of course, Wander Franco fits in that bucket. Now, you're right. That Bader play was awesome. It was tremendous. If that gets down, that's a bumpy ball that could go play, what's that game? Pinball.
Yeah, pinball could go all over the place.
Could go all over the place. And with his speed, if he's killing it from the get-go, third inside the park homer, you never know. So it was just a good play by Bader. But no, he's really hitting the ball well. That's awesome to see. They need that. This offense needs Wander Franco to get going. And Evan Klosky has said this multiple times. It's when the team is doing well, Wander Franco is probably doing well. Yes. He's the guy, that kind of stirs that offense. He can do so much. So it was good to see that beginning of the game. But yeah, like you said, then it was nothing. Garrett Cole kind of just became Garrett Cole, and that's a shame, because when you start off after 2 batters phase, you're up 2-0 against Garrett Cole and against a feeble Yankees offensive lineup. you're going in pretty well. But then, of course, the third inning happened.
Yeah, and then you would think that, hey, you've got a righty on the mound in Garrett Cole, put a lot of lefties in the lineup, take advantage of the dimensions of Yankee Stadium and go to town. And alas, that wasn't the case. So Wander Franco now has, to my record, 14 homers on the year and presently a 782 OPS. Two questions. Does he, I ask this all the time seemingly, does he get to 20 this year? And does he finish the year or does he finish the year with an OPS above 800?
I will say yes to the OPS over 800.
Okay.
And August and September. So he's got 2 full months of baseball to hit 6, which could be 3 and 3 on average, 3 home runs in each month. I'm going to go and say yes. Yes. And then he would he become the first 20? No, he would not. I was going to say he was going to become the first 20 home run, 30 stolen bag guy, but BJ Upton did that.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going in a different direction and saying, would he have been the first 20 home run shortstop for the Rays?
Ooh, can we do
check the record
quickly?
books? Like primarily a shortstop, not like, I don't know, Ben Zobrist playing like 4 games at shortstop or whatever. But
okay, primarily shortstop. Echeverria, no way. Asdrubal, no way. Yunel Escobar, no way. No. Bartlett, no way. I think he might be. Yeah. Wow. I mean, just quickly going this live. Yeah.
Unless, I mean, this is going way back in track. I don't think BJ Upton, he wasn't playing shortstop when he first got called up.
He did. He did play shortstop, and people don't like to talk about that, and it was really bad.
But I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if he hit 20 home runs in the time.
No, I don't think so. No, I think he got called. I think he got sent down after that, and then they were like, "Hey, maybe we put you in center field, and you could become a Gold Glover." And
well, at the very least, I think that if he's starting to show more power like he is, and Brandon Lau starting to showcase himself a little bit more, and other guys starting to pick up the load, then it might be a case of, okay, let's pitch around Wander a little bit more, or however, it should kind of naturally elevate his on-base percentage and possibly batting average going forward.
Yeah.
Just, showing that he's.
Are you yes on the both? On the home runs and the OPS?
I'm going to say under on the homers and over on the OPS. So
okay.
We'll have to see what the listeners check out there too. All right. So the Rays now enjoy an off day before heading to Detroit to face the Tigers, who, believe it or not, are third in the Central with a record of 48-60. That's the Central divisions for you, be it National League or American League. I mean, the second team in the division, the Guardians, they're under 500 as well. And then when you add the White Sox and the Royals to the equation, it's very crummy pickings there. But I will say, your boy, I guess this is really one of the last opportunities that I think you'll have to watch Miggy Cabrera, definitely going up against the Rays, but just Miggy Cabrera in general. They'll actually be doing a jersey giveaway to fans on Saturday. So I hope you're soaking up this moment come this weekend, even though he will be playing for the opposition seemingly.
I mean, with Miggy, it's always, for me, it's like, I hope he goes 4-4-4 against the Rays with 4 home runs. And then, but the Rays win, obviously. Right. It's like you when you're on fantasy baseball and you're like, this guy's going against the Rays, but can he do well? And then the team, get the W still. It's, I don't know if you saw his Miami series, the highlights.
Oh, I did not.
The Tigers went to, oh man, it was fantastic. Like, they gave him a standing he went 2 for 4 in one game, 1 for 3 the other one, I think. Driving in runs. Like, he was just, opposite field, double, of course, driving in a couple runs. Man, it's great, man. I mean, he's obviously, you notice the age, but this definitely, like, this is it. So enjoy Miggy Cabrera on the field, man. I saw when you look at his baseball reference number, if you guys want to geek out about numbers, look at Miggy's baseball reference number and then just like laugh. It's
all his numbers.
Dude, it's silly. It's silly. Like 12-time All-Star. The years. Look at this. Look at when he goes 12, almost 12 in a row years being an All-Star. The 2 years that he wasn't an All-Star, those could be MVP years any day of the year. So yeah, that's the kind of talent that he is. And so yeah, hopefully the Rays get the W, but I will be, geeking out about seeing Miggy probably for the last time. Yeah.
Future Hall of Famer for sure. The Tigers, interesting dynamic. Eduardo Rodriguez had the opportunity to leave the organization and go to the Dodgers, but he's like, I'm good. I'll just stay here. I don't need to go uproot my family and possibly play for a World Series. I'm fine in Detroit. I mean, there's something to be said for that, I guess. That also tells me I don't think he's going to opt out of that 3 years and $49 million remaining to become a free agent when you have guaranteed money on the table, no matter how good of a season that he's having this year. But there's something to be respected about just saying, no, I'm fine. I'll just, let me just take care of my family. I feel in a comfortable position. We're not winning, but it is what it is. So there's that. And then on the flip side, there's a lot going on with the Tigers in the sense of, recently I thought that they would be a team on the upswing and turnaround a couple years ago, and they've just gone in an opposite direction. And I think this is a good time for the Rays to face them because they just traded Michael Lorenzen to the Phillies for one of their prospects. So they're depleted in that respect. And they're just not a good team this year. They're 29th in team OPS, 21st in team ERA. They're actually a middling defensive team as well. And I know we talked about Wander Franco, his counterpart on the Tigers, Javi Baez. I mean, you talk about bad contract galore,
bro.
Doesn't
he have like a 600 OPS, or I think
it's under 600? It's
under
592 right now. His on-base percentage is 264. And by the way, he's signed through 2027 on a 6-year, $140 million deal. Like, this has to go down as one of the worst contracts of all time. Not just by the Tigers. The Tigers have made a lot of bad contracts, but just in general, especially when there were guys out there like you technically could have gotten Marcus Semien or Carlos Correa or a Corey Seager. But
yeah, no, it's a bad contract, and it's not like he's going to get better, Kevin. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, he's now an 800 OPS guy, and it's like,
no, he's only going to get worse, I think.
Right, and the swings too. We get frustrated with Jose Sirius low on base, and sometimes the swings remind you of BJ Upton trying to get that slider down and away. This is worse. Mm-hmm. This is really bad. Javi Baez, like, if you just have some time, just look up Javi Baez strikeouts. It looks like a blooper reel sometimes. Like, you could put the dip, 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 and then just like put it in like fast paced.
It's like you put a high schooler on junior varsity in the big leagues and see what kind of swings he makes.
Just plain awful. So yeah, you're right. This is not a powerful team, although it is a third team in the AL Central because Central divisions are ridiculous. Hopefully they keep winning series. That's all you want. Obviously, the sweeps are nice, but after what we just suffered in July, as an audience, as a fan base, of just seeing horrible results, just go there and Detroit, get your W's and go back home. Now, if you can go back home to some happy news about Shane McClanahan, that would be even better. Because then what do you do, Kevin? You know what? Actually, no. They said, Taj, can you go down, just reset your mindset, kind of get calmed down a little bit, take a break in the minors of this grind. If something happens to Shane McClanahan, Taj, change of plans. You don't have time to reset your mind So can you come back here? Because that's it. There's no other way. Because then now you have Glasnow, who, by the way, won AL Pitcher of the Month. Very
Congrats.
nice, Tyler. Very cool. So no, you have Glasnow, you have Eflin, Littell question mark, and then you would have Taj again, and then bullpen day again, Erasmo day again. Is Erasmo going with Littell? We'll see on Friday, because Littell is the pitcher that's going to start that game.
Right. Unfortunately, again, you're facing one of the worst, really, outside of Oakland. They would be the worst offense in all of baseball. In the Tigers, Javi Baez has something to do with that. The rest of their complexion has something to do with that. So this would be theoretically an opportunity for Zach Littell to build some confidence, Aaron Civale to get settled in. And Civale has some experience, clearly, against the Tigers and pitching in a Guardians uniform. And then Glasnow as well. Then after that, you have the schedule continues to ease up, where you face the Cardinals and then the Guardians after that before facing the Giants and the Angels and going down. But I mean, it's a pretty, until you get to late August, there should be an opportunity to bank and rack up wins. So I'll be curious to see how they do in this series against the Tigers. I mean, I would think at the very least you win the series, if not sweep the series, but we'll wait and see on that.
No, yeah, I think a couple victories would be great, and yeah, looking at the schedule, it looks nice until what? Do we consider the Angels a rough team?
No, maybe, but I would consider the Giants a rough team. So that West Coast trip, I guess, is when it starts after you.
Actually, just a West Coast trip. Just it being a West Coast trip, that's going to be difficult. Giants and Anaheim.
Yeah, and then
we've
Colorado,
never played
and
good
against the Yankees at home. Yeah.
Yeah, you've never played well. They've never played well against the Angels anyway, out there, and so yeah, it's gonna be tough. But looking ahead in the Detroit series, you're right. It's a perfect situation for Civale to get those nerves down, debuting for a new team, for a new organization, for new teammates, all of that in a place that he's thrown before against a team that he's seen before. They've also seen him, but again, when you're facing one of the worst offenses in baseball in a cavernous Comerica Park, with the defense that you have, everything should line up beautifully there. And then you got Glasnow, like you said, Littell, beautiful way of putting these two guys in a situation to succeed. Hopefully they get a couple W's.
That would be nice. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you on Friday.